Microphone check. Hello. Let's see if this thing's working. Hello. There we go. Oh my gosh, what just happened? What? Yay. Hey, you guys. Can you hear me okay? I'm using a lavalier mic. Hi, Tori. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Cesar. CED. Okay, great. I have a fan like right here because it's still really hot in Houston. If that sound bothers anyone, just let me know. Okay. How about now? I should just keep talking and see if it sounds any better. You can also just this is any better. Sorry, I haven't done too many live. That muted it, so that's not gonna work. Hey, Janet. All right, I'm still playing around with the sound. You guys bear with me. Sorry for guinea pigging on you guys. See, I'm using this dude right here. Okay, here we go. I have a feeling it's the fan. Man. Yeah, I've got it on lapel mic right now. And I know there's a little bit of a delay. No, I'm not streaming on my phone. I'm just streaming from my my laptop, straight on YouTube. Just let me know if y'all have any problems hearing, and I will do my best to make sure everything's working. It's kind of hard to check it. Okay, good. Awesome. So I just wanted to make sure everyone can hear me okay. And I'm here to answer anyone's questions about their succulents and whatever else, really. Friday night, this is my idea of a good time. We've got a little cocktail over here. And I have, I put actually in the description, you should see kind of a little outline of how to ask your questions, because otherwise I'm just going to be asking you the same thing. And I'm sorry if there's background noise. There's airplanes and traffic out front and probably a dog, and I heard a cat screaming not too long ago. So I'll need to know your location, whether you're growing indoors or outside, whether you're growing in pots or in the ground if you're growing outside, what kind of light your succulents get, whether it's morning, evening, or north facing, south, east, or west. There were some questions, but I don't see. Let's see. I'm going to switch really quick. I'm going to open up another tab because I did get some questions that people had left on my little YouTube shout out on the community page. So, okay, I have that open now. Donna is here, so I'm going to answer her question first, if that's cool. Let me read it really quick. Donna Johnson, she asked, I've just started my succulent garden here in Bay Area, California. Weather is getting cooler, but not much rain is expected. How often should I water, and will I be able to produce more plants from my leaves? These are mostly outdoor, in-ground and pots, and she'll be taking a few to work indoors. So first of all, Donna, Bay Area, California, you get really lucky. You get some pretty mild winters there, and so I would say don't let that stop you from propagating your succulents. With cooler weather, you do want to cut back on watering a little bit because your plants will go a bit dormant. And yeah, as long as it's, I know you guys got some like freak weather there sometimes. I'm not sure if it froze in Bay Area last winter. I know it did a lot up north. in California. So yeah, just as, and for anyone who when the weather, when it starts to get cold, you need to cut back on watering a bit. If it's not too cold, you can keep watering a little bit more frequently, all the way down to stop watering altogether. And I'll go over that a little bit more. One other thing I wanted to mention is that I did recently publish an ebook. It's the Succulent Manual, and we talk about growth and dormancy in different seasons, and depending on what climate you're in, the different things you need to do to prepare for winter and whatnot. So I'm going to move on. I've got some more questions over here with people in there. Donna, I hope that helped. Feel free to ask for any clarifications. Let's see here. We got John Sheffield from Tennessee. We got a John Doe. Janet Nollinson from Prince Edward Island, Canada. That's awesome. Okay, Tori, your first question. Growing indoors in a pot with drainage holes under a grow light for 12 hours a day. Your question is, do you have issues with a scent rooting into its dirt? I think sempervivum are going to be the type of plant, just again, depending on where you grow and how you're growing it, they're either going to be like really easy or just give you a hard time. For me, I'm in the Houston area. They're a bit finicky, kind of like aeoniums, to where they don't really like the heat and humidity. So, but you're indoors under a grow light, Tori. You may need to remove some of the lower leaves, because I have a feeling that your lower leaves are maybe turning down a bit if you're having trouble with the stem, the lower stem, and the roots reaching straight into the dirt. And you can also take rocks and pile them on your pot, like on top of the dirt. Let's just pretend like you're making a little mountain on top of your dirt. Okay, put some rocks. Okay. And then sprinkle some dirt on top of that, and then literally just like place your sempervivum like on top of the mound of rocks and dirt, and that should coax those roots down deeper. So I hope that helps. I'm going to move on. We've got Amber. Sorry if I get this wrong. It's hard reading the usernames. Amber Dewisme. She asked for cactus and succulent fall winter prep tips, please. And again, I cover a lot of that in the Succulent Manual. So if you want a little like more clarity on that, I really suggest you download it. You can download it today from my website. It's only $10, but depending on where you live, depends on what you need to do to prepare for fall and winter. And that's why I need to know locations, and that's why when I wrote this book, I kept all these different locations, because I talked to people from all around the world, and just, I really needed to know where you're located in order to be able to give you that targeted advice. There's really no general rules to succulents. They kind of change across the board, other than, they like dry soil and drainage and bright light. That's pretty much the only general guidelines for them. Janet gets 11 in Canada. It's 9 o'clock here. Okay, Serge is down in the valley of Texas, down at the tip, like I'm guessing Brownsville area, or really close to the border. Serge asks, what are the hardest and easiest succulents to propagate? I'll let this plane go over really quick. I could show you what I have going on right now. I'll hold out on that. The easiest for me to propagate and the heat and the humidity are calanchos, my Graptopetalum paraguayans. Most echeveria are pretty easy, and the hybrids like the sedoveria and the you know, Graptivaria. What else is really easy? Those are all by leaf that I'm referring to. Other ways to propagate, of course, like through cuttings and whatnot, are the easy. I'm looking around. It's really easy to take cuttings from like long hanging, like any kind of trailing plant, like a string of bananas. Not when I say that, the string of pearls are just punks, all pretty much for anyone unless you're living in like California. So don't feel bad if you have trouble with those. But all of the other strings, except for the string of hearts, tend to be a little bit, you know, more forgiving and getting chopped up and whatnot. But let's see what else. What you would like, Serge. Man, really, we've got it pretty good here. The only time that it's probably not ideal to try and propagate anything, I'll answer the second part of your question in a second. The only time you really aren't trying to propagate anything is when it's really cold and everything's dormant, or when it's really hot and everything's dormant. Because you know, they just don't have a lot of energy to grow. They're trying to conserve their energy to like survive whatever extremes, whether it's cold or hot. And then there's also just the natural dormancy that plants have. So even if you're growing indoors, you're probably going to see a little bit of a slowing in the growth in the wintertime. Where did you go, Serge? Where is it? And you asked the second part of your question, what are the hardest succulents to propagate? Man, by leaf, by cuttings, it all kind of depends. I would say the hardest to propagate by leaf for me have been, well, I've only seen it in pictures. There's people propagating some aeonium leaves, the aeonium kiwis. What else is hard to propagate by leaf? You know, people have different problems. It just, again, different times a year. Like Echeveria Lola can be pretty picky to try and propagate by leaf. Kind of have to have like a really, you know, cool cool to warm climate. And it's better if it's, you know, the air is dry. What else is hard to propagate? There's just all kinds of different, again, it just depends on where you are. Some people are like, I have no problem propagating that. But for me in Houston, it's got to be like, there's got to be a sweet spot in the weather at a certain time of year for it to, you know, kind of be worth even trying to propagate. So when you want to start them, probably the best time to start propagation is going to be early spring, just about wherever you are. As soon as, you know, here it starts to warm up a bit, that's when they really kind of have that extra natural, like, you know, life force moving through them. Sorry, I go off on one question. Let me try and get to the next. Hey, Heartfelt. 9A, zone 9A, grow indoors. I'm also in 9A, but 9A for me is going to be way different than a 9A in California or Florida. Sorry about the plane. Let me read your question. Yeah. No etiolation, but lost a lot of coloring. Growing indoors in an east window, direct light in the mornings. Do you think LED T5 grow lights would be better? I always think grow lights would be better because even if east facing sun indoors, if you have grow lights indoors, you're not dealing with like the heat or the humidity. It's a more controlled environment, so you're always going to get better results. Also, if you're trying to keep color in your succulents, you want a nice cool room, or, you know, once it starts cooling off outdoors, you're going to start seeing those succulents come back. On the grow lights I have are what you describe. I have a 6-bulb 4-foot fixture, and I have a video on the right light for succulents on my YouTube channel, and I talk about my grow lights in that. And then I also have a lot of information on my website, sucsforyou.com, about it. And then I have links to like what I use on the supplies page on my website. Hi, Guadalupe in Chicago. You're welcome, Tori. Sorry, this is a little back and forth. I want to make sure I get everybody. We got 40 people here right now. What is up, guys? Christy is in Southwest Florida. All of her succulent arrangements are outside, but under the shade, in the shade. She wants to move them out in more sun. Well, most succulents take a lot of sun. Okay. No direct sun, no direct light. Like no, like if I'm the plant and this is the sun, say my eyeball is the plant. This is so silly. You don't want that. You don't want the light shining directly on your succulents for too long, especially if, what'd you say, they've been in the shade. So if you can move them to south facing, I don't know where you're going to get the sunlight from, but south or east facing sun is more gentle, and you should still just kind of like put them out for, maybe an hour a day in that kind of light, and just watch them, especially if they're a little more sensitive. And then you can start moving it up to, 3 hours, 5 hours, or whatever, until that's where they stay. But just watch out for any direct sun on your plants. And that's why the sun from the south is ideal for that, because the sun doesn't ever really come, directly in from the south. Okay. Oh, who is this? Yeah, Serge, I feel you. Like I need this fan on, and also I have a fan on my porch pretty much 9 months out of the year, just to move the humidity away from my plants. I know that helps them a lot, and man, outside they get a little more circulation from the wind, but it gets so hot. It's just, I mean, imagine if you're a little plant and how hot it is to you, especially if you're used to an arid environment. Hold on, there was somebody I missed. Okay, Christy, Desria, say Des. All right, here we go. Amber, overwintering indoor tips. Right, how to dry the soil and prep for dormant period. She is in Athens, Georgia, so their winters are going to get quite colder than me for longer. Stop fertilizing now if you did, or if you have. How to dry the soil, just stop watering it. Depending on how you want to, if you have grow lights indoors to kind of help them keep their shape, that's great. If not, you really want to make sure you're not encouraging growth at all. And you'll want to look up overwintering with less light to no light, because there's some really interesting methods out there. I'm not very versed in, because I don't have to do that. Maybe I should try overwintering. There's a way to actually, like, I'm pretty sure you don't give the plant any light, or you don't give them very much light, and I'm not going to say that works for all of them, so I don't want to give you any wrong information. But as far as what I do know, yes, definitely stop fertilizing. And if you use potting soil in your succulent mix, a lot of that has not like fertilizer in it, and you run the risk of your plants trying to grow when there's not enough light and just getting all funky. Knit Woolly Bully, how do you make more crested sucks from your crested sucks? You can try propagating and hope they pass on that trait. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just like with the variegated succulents, sometimes you get normal, babies, and sometimes you get the variegated babies. And then some of the, sorry, just let me know if you guys can't hear me. I'm going to scroll down real quick and just make sure y'all aren't like, hello. Okay, we're still good. A lot of the like crested escheverias and even the cactus comes from damage to the plant at the point where new growth is coming in, and so you could, if you really want to try, you could call a few plants your science experiments and just try to like wound them a little bit. Even like something like a mealybug can cause, crusting in certain succulents. It's more like it's kind of like a mutation. So, but I think the best way is to just keep trying to propagate them from the parent plant. Oh, John Sheffield. I had a pink frills propagate from leaf. That's what he says, and I was saying that because I had one propagating from leaf, and I was so excited. The little echeveria ruffles, because it's supposed to be really hard to do, and then it just died. I was really sad. Yeah. So sometimes they get going, and you think, oh, this is great. This is gonna work this time, and they just phase out on you. Let's see. Seems like some of y'all know each other. This is awesome. Saying hey, what's up to y'all? Heartfelt Vegas. Very hot and dry. Just struggling with all the grow light choices. Well, definitely go for fluorescent bulbs if you want my personal opinion. The LEDs, A, drive me crazy. B, they're not true white lights. So there's just always this weird thing. Like even the white LEDs aren't really white. And then having like colored lights, like those pink and blue or purple, there's actually been like a lot of studies or, reports on people that they can't be in the room with them for very long. So LEDs and fluorescent white lights. There are LED tubes, and they're just so expensive. I just definitely recommend the T5 or T8 fluorescent bulbs, the tubes. They'll last you a really long time, and I'm really happy with my grow lights. And again, I have a lot of information. If you start at my supplies page on sucsforyou.com, you're gonna wind up down a wormhole of like all kinds of products and stuff, what I use and why and all this stuff. So just be sure to check all that out. Des says lately many of her leaves are getting discolored, almost like light and wilted. Overwatering. Is it overwatering? It could be overwatering. If the succulents aren't drying, if the dirt isn't drying out, I always tell people, like, let the dirt dry out for at least a day. Like give those roots a break, give that soil a break. Let the soil dry completely and let it stay dry. Not only does that help like prevent like fungal gnat eggs and stuff, like, bugs don't like dry dirt typically, or at least to lay their eggs in, they can't, they'll dry up, and that's why you get fungal gnats and a few other different kinds of pests. So yeah, it just depends on, I can't say if once a week is too much, but it does sound like discolored leaves, light colored leaves, wilted. It sounds like a few different things, from heat. That could be from it being hot. That could be from it being cold. It could be from overwatering. It could be from too much sunlight. And if it was in my situation, again, Houston, really hot, humid. If my leaves were doing that, I would say, maybe they did get overwatered. Maybe it's too humid and they're just really stressed. If I'm not watering, if I'm only watering like, every 10 days, everything's drying out. Just trying to, I mean, I've had that happen before. I'm trying to remember like the different reasons why, but it sounds like a light issue. It could be from not being, I'm sorry to sound so like, that's why I always try and be like, look, only you know your regimen and where your succulents are and all this. So you have to like consider all these different things, because there's like this like flip side to it. It could be too much water. It could be not enough water. It could be too much sun. It could be not enough sun. Blanching of leaves, they'll get really white or really light, and they would definitely wilt. I don't know, but you know where to find me if you want to send some pics, and we'll talk it out. That was Des Rios' question. Paloma. Where did she go? Two echeveria lolos died from stem rot. Me too. They're the only ones that you've killed in your 2 years of growing succulents. This is Paloma made. I mean, I remember when I was intimidated by lolos when I first started growing succulents, and then, you know, after I killed a few, I started figuring out, you know, they're not as picky as you think they are, but they're definitely you have to respect them a little bit more. They don't. I think maybe this is why. They don't have a lot of green coloring to them, so they're kind of weak. You know, they don't have that like chlorophyll to like give them that extra, you know, boost in photosynthesis, and just the kind of. I think they're struggling to just be a plant sometimes, depending on where you get them from too. I had one that lasted so long and gave me a ton of babies, and then eventually, I think she. You know, her time was up. So it depends on how long, you know, like maybe they're ready to go. I don't know how old yours were, but it's a good question. I'm going to write that down. Succulent lifespan. I know cactus live a long time, but I know a little bit about it, but not enough to like tell anyone for sure. So I'm just writing down, look up the lifespan of certain succulents. Janet, my favorite, I think, are going to be the calanchos too. You guys can see, this is my big blob right here. This leaf is curling. Hold on, I'm doing this backwards. And I have two more hanging baskets out. Oh wait, there's one right there. Forgot I brought it in. And then I have one more out there, and they were all in one big pot. And it was just so crazy. I was like, I have to split these all up. But I really, really love calanchos. They're just so easy for it's really, they don't mind. They don't mind the rain. They don't mind the humidity. They don't mind the heat. They mind the cold. And we don't have to worry about that too much here. So, but there's, you know, you can always cover them up, bring them inside. Just there's so many awesome calanchos. I'll show you one that I got recently. I think it was in my last video if you saw it, but well, I mean, you're gonna look at it again, okay? Janae, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear your succulents perked up after you moved. I'm guessing maybe the light situation is better. Maybe the weather's a little bit nicer now this time of year. I'm glad you got moved. I know that was stressful, especially moving plants. Like, I think I'm going to be moving. I haven't really like said anything yet, but it's not going to be fun. Wait, Rebecca, if you have a grow light on your succulents, should I be printing them to the succulents or not? Can you tell me what you mean? I typo under printing, and I'll wait for you to clarify. You're welcome, heartfelt. Oh gosh, I'm so honored that I have trolls in here. Not really. You guys are getting reported and removed. Not that I don't agree or disagree, but that's not what we're here for. Hold it. Where we go? Nick Willie Bully, you're welcome. Christy, you're welcome. Amber, hit me. Thanks, Janet. I'll show you. You see this? She says plants are awesome. I'll show you guys some more. Amber, is there anything as too much plants? I mean, it's kind of up to you, really. Sometimes life gets pretty overwhelming, and it becomes hard to keep up with a lot of plants. I have about half of as many as I did maybe a year and a half ago, because I don't know. You'll see what happens. Like your taste changes, and your how much you're willing to spend on one of your plants changes. Like this, I think, is one of my most expensive plants. Let's see, so nice. Maybe like top 3, and it was only $30. It's a shaving brush tree. And then I spent 35 on, well, let's see if you can see it from here. On that, that's a big baby saguaro, and totally worth it. Absolutely, totally worth it. And then I bought some rare succulents and was like, this many succulents for the same price as that guy. Not so worth it, just in my just personally. But they're still really beautiful, and they did lose their color because it warmed up here. But keeping an eye on them, they're still alive. I've given some away, but I know that the color is going to come back, and I look forward to that. And then I don't think it's worth it again. But yeah, definitely. But having like experience everything, experience cactus, experience calanchos, experience caudex, experience just perfect echeverrias in the brightest colors and rare, hybrids, and just try them all on in your life and see what works for you. And you're gonna you'll see how so many people start out liking the beautiful little rosettes and colorful purple, and just they are beautiful, they're gorgeous, but then they wind up with nothing but calanchos and cactus and caudex and all the weirdos. I really there's not any succulent that I don't like, but there's some that I just don't want to have to like fool with. Janae's light is better in her new home, which is a blessing because it's so important to keeping your succulents happy, is having the right light, especially if you have to bring them inside. If you don't have good light indoors, that's my situation now. Chandra Bon she says, hi, I have my succulents outside in small pots. It's been raining a lot lately with little sunlight. Shall I bring them inside the house? It's outside in small pots. Raining, yes. If you can bring them inside, definitely. They can be outside, but it might be humid, and that will make the soil be a little, harder for it to dry out. Desrios, I didn't even see your question, but I think I just answered it. What are some of your faves? Yeah, I really like the weirdos. The weirdos, the caudex, the cactus. I'm reading K-Kid68 says, I have some mother of thousand seedlings. They're growing long and skinny. I have them on windowsills, but there's a lot of space between the leaves. Is this normal? Growing indoors is a bit more of a challenge. You're going to want to you're going to need more light. Sounds like, I can already tell you they're etiolated, so they need more light. And you might want to put a fan on them to help strengthen the stems. Misa asked if I have a garden tags account. I do, but I don't really do anything with it. And my username would be Sucks for You, but I might have even deleted the app because my phone is like, it just can't handle it. Adam, thank you. I really love my donkey ears. Let's see. Oh, there was a couple more over here. Let me look really quick. Someone asked me about diatomaceous earth, and it's also called DE. And I've tried it, and I haven't had a ton of, I haven't really seen anything, any results from it. I've used it for a lot of different things too. And my theory is that it rains too much here, and the reasons that I need it are to block tracks for ants and stuff like that. I've tried it for fleas at our old house. It didn't it just didn't do anything. That doesn't mean don't try it. But personally, in my experience, it just hasn't really done much for me. How long have we been going? It's already been 35 minutes. Okay, I think I've answered most of y'all's questions. I'll give you guys a few minutes just if I missed anybody. Reading back through. Again, please, if you really want to be awesome and support me, go get my book from Amazon, The Succulent Manual, A Guide to Care and Repair for All Climates, and leave a review. Reviews really help, encourage other people to take a chance on me. And my whole thing is I've spent the last few years talking to thousands of people around the world, and I'm just kind of become this hub of information that I learned this from somebody in Canada, and then someone in Norway asks me, and I can relate, and then I also try to relate, actually connect people to each other. So check out the book. We also have the interactive version of it on my website, and there's a members forum, so just look up the Succulent Manual. I promise it's going to be very helpful, and whether you're a beginner or a little more advanced, trying to figure out what works for your climate, if you've had trouble with that before, see what all the possibilities are, learn what your expectations should be. But yeah, I just wanted to be able to help everyone that I connect with, and there's Saigon Bago. I got a lot of followers and friends in the Philippines, and their climate is very similar to Houston. I'm not saying it's, you guys have it a lot, it's a lot more tropical there, a lot more humid, a lot more rain, a lot more wild weather, even though we got Hurricane Harvey. Saigon says, I'm not very familiar with Phrailias, but if you just found out that if you should repot it in the presence of ants, I would repot it. I would go in and check the roots. Love from the Philippines. Yes, I'm going to say yes. It definitely won't hurt. Be sure to, it might go into a little bit of shock after you repot it, so maybe wait to water it afterwards. Mercedes asks, hi Andrea. Hi Mercedes. I don't understand the gardening zones. I'm in Tene. What does that mean? It's like a hardiness thing, your plant hardiness. What is the heat to cold tolerance threshold? You hear about cold hardy plants, and they're hardy up to, let's say calanchos are hardy up to about, I'd say 8B, 9A, because there's maybe even 8A. And what I'm thinking about in my head is how harsh are their winters. And calanchos are not frost or, definitely not freeze tolerant. So they're going to be, sorry, I'm reading while I'm trying to answer. Plants like calanchos are going to be hardier in the higher, 9A, 9B, 10A, 10B. And then plants like agaves may be hardy down to, depending on the plant, depending on the agave, they could be hardy down to 3A, 4A. It gets really cold, much hardier than I would be in that zone. I hope that helps. You understand what that means a little bit. Does cactus are great indoors if you have good light? They'd be really happy. But again, everybody likes the the fresh air and the natural sunlight and everything else. So open up your windows when you can, or put them outside on occasion. Just watch out for them getting too much light. That you got to have some really good light to keep your cactus happy inside, though. So if you do, you can try. You're welcome. You're welcome. Seon, I don't know if I'm saying that right. There you go. From the Philippines. Zone 5A, Janik in Canada. I've never been to Canada. I want to go, but it's going to have to be like right in the middle of the summertime. I think I'm going to be doing this again tomorrow night. I had some people asking me if I could do it again. They were working or something else was going on the night. If there's a better time for you to catch a live stream, let me know. I want to be able to. I know there's all these, everybody all over the world. We've got us, different times, different seasons too. So just we're going into fall, and Australia is going into spring. That's really amazing to me. Especially on Instagram, I follow a lot of people in Australia, and so as we're preparing for winter, they're getting all excited about spring, and I'm just always so jealous. You can't have it year round, right? Unless you're in California. Adam, I think one of the weirdest plants that I've encountered in person. I don't know. I might even have one. Let me see real quick. Give me a second. So let me put it this way. All right. Hold on. So there's this. This is a Mammillaria Fred, and I got him from our local Succulent and Cactus Society sale. And this is a mutant. Look, you can see, hold on, where is it on here? Every now and then it'll get a little hair. And it is a mutant from the Mammillaria boxana, and that's just like a fluffy fuzzball cactus. And supposedly this dude was growing them, one of the growers back in the 70s. That the boxana mutated, and then he was able to, and it made like just this little, it's like a little rubbery lump. Look at that. Being really gentle. And then there's also like a red variety too, which I think is pretty awesome. But I think this one is pretty weird. And if you saw it in person, you kind of touched it and felt it. The grower was like, you just got to feel it. And he just kind of, this old man put his hand on it like, well, like that. He's like, you can water it. But it gets like this rubbery texture. And I'm pretty proud I've been able to keep it alive for a while. Supposedly, I think I read they don't flower. See the hairs coming back in on that. So sometimes they'll actually revert back to their former unmutated selves. You have time for one more question before this gets ridiculously long for a video. Guadalupe Gonzalez has a ponytail palm glued on rocks. Why do they do that? And you want to transplant it. You want to use a fast draining soil. You want to get a hammer and a nail and just chisel out those rocks and take it all out. And pot it a bit shallow so the caudex is above ground. I keep looking over there. I have two over there. Maybe I can just take the whole computer. Let's see. I'm going for a walk, guys. Oh, it's so dark here right now. Sorry. All right. So this is one of my ponytail palms. Got a Haworthy in there with it. And pot it, and there's this, what I use, let's see if you can see this one better. No, sorry. I have one inside too, actually. Any kind of really good drainage material. Again, depending on where you live, you're going to want less dirt if you live in a more humid climate, and less organic dirt and more drainage materials. And if you want to see some drainage materials, I'm selling some on my website on a shop, and I think that's all I'm selling. I'm not selling any plants right now, but I mean, I'm down if you want to buy anything. I'll send you a variety pack or something. But turfus, expanded shale, pumice, topsoil, no fertilizer. You know, pot them kind of shallow. Their roots do get a bit deep, so I like the deeper pots. Sorry, let's come back. So like a deeper pot, kind of like this guy behind me. See, the codex is above the soil. Sorry about the rock situation. Glued on rocks is so silly. You're welcome. Okay, I am gonna call it a night on here, but if you subscribe and then, you know, follow me wherever, I'll try and give everyone heads up. Maybe even start doing it on a schedule. Probably not. But this was really fun. I do need to like get it a little more concise, so maybe I'll take questions ahead of time. I don't know. I like the live thing though. Like, come on by, show up. Still got 30 people here. Y'all tired of this guy? Let's see. What about just tell me what y'all are doing tonight? I'm having a tequila cocktail. It was full of ice, which is all totally melted now. And just looking at my plants, hanging out with you guys, sitting by the fan. Might watch a movie or something later. Oh, Serge asked tips on care and propagation for Anacampsaris rufensis. I haven't had much luck with propagating them. I guess, I mean, except for by cutting, right? Like the leaves, like they'll make a root, but then they won't do much more for me. Again, that's not me. They're a really interesting plant, actually. You know how? Okay, one more. Okay, what were we gonna ask? Care. They're actually really great, and they keep their color really well. And I don't know where mine are. I think that I leave them out on this shelf out there. And when it rains, I go and throw an old yoga mat on top of the shelf, take all the plants off the shelf, put a yoga mat and a brick on top, and that's it. You know, rain, shelter from rain. They're really cool plants, and they keep their color. They can take the heat. They don't mind like too much water. So again, I'm reading ahead. I need to practice this. I appreciate you guys hanging out and being patient. I hope I'm not like stuttering too much. People from New Zealand, people from Philippines. This is so cool. Ugh. Donna's giving her grandson a bath. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Totally forgot. I know I was going to say something else, and I forgot. I started reading. Malaysia, what is up? I really want to go to Malaysia. I want to go to Philippines. I'm going to go to Thailand, Indonesia, and I've got like the most amazing like network of people there for when I do finally get to go. I can't wait. I'm going to bug everyone. What do I eat? What do I do? Where's all the plants? Pearland. Hello, Pearland. Blues Maven. That's pretty much right around the corner for me. Sarah just played a guitar. I'm going to go back up to the top really quick and just make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. So yeah, here we are. While I'm going through this, just again, I'm sorry if you're going to hear a lot about this because I worked really long and really hard. I was writing the Succulent Manual over the last 2 years while I was, talking with people and taking all these notes and organizing it kind of by like, you know, you have your basic tips, what you absolutely need to know before you even like move further. And I know like the cool thing is a lot of you guys I know have learned a lot from me and everyone else, because when you learn from me, you're learning from like a lot of other people too. Just kind of like gleaned all this information and like organize it. I'm really big into research and like genealogy, for instance, and that carries over really well to being able to remember, you know, scientific plant names and, you know, the different families and genuses and whatnot. So I don't know. I was never really expecting to be doing this, but I'm good at it, and I know I'm good. I know I'm good at it because you guys let me know when I've helped, and you know, like, oh my God, my plant is dying, and I'm like, oh, okay, do this, do that, and then you go off, and then you come back a month later, and we're like, he's alive, it's amazing, thank you, and I'm like, okay, you know, so I can give you the information, but you have to put it to work, and if that doesn't work, you got to keep trying, and it's amazing. Lindsay, it's totally networking. Like, so that's a good way to put it. Maybe we should just, I don't even know what it is sometimes. I'm like, what is Sucks for you? It's a succulent care network and yeah, educational platform. I don't know, that's way too long. We'll figure it out. You guys just keep letting me know what what you think. Oh yeah, I was talking about the book, the manual. You can read it online, like on the website at sucksforyou.com/the manual. You can sign up as a member. You can just download the ebook from like, it's everywhere, Amazon, Apple, Google, Barnes and Noble, and I have a direct download link on my website too. It's an EPUB. So I just kind of want to make sure everybody gets all this information, because I do like, which is fine. I repeat myself a lot, and that's because everyone's asking the same questions. Like when they're first starting out, everyone asks the same thing, and I have, you know, put it all in a book. So if you're just like, if you read that, and you definitely, if you read the basic tips, and by the way, you can read the first chapter for free on my website under the Succulent Manual tab. So there's a lot of information there. So you might want to check that out, and you know, that way you get a good feel for, you know, what the rest of the book is about and how you're going to be able to apply that knowledge to everything else. It's really important. It's probably the most important chapter, and it's free. So, you know, important as far as getting a solid understanding of the basic care needs. Oh, I have just been invited to a protected mountain and rainforest in the Philippines. I'll be there. Mount McKilling. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I could just spend all day, all night, maybe just, I don't know. I could live outside forever, I think. I don't like being inside. I work outside. I'm outside. If I'm not sleeping, I'm probably outside. That's a pretty fair estimate. I'm barefoot a lot. Let's all go to the Philippines. Lindsay, you're closer, right? You're like right there. So that's cool. Philippines and then your place, right? New Zealand after that. What else? What else? What are you guys growing right now, or what are you struggling with, or do you have any like triumphs, recent triumphs? We have Janae had just picked up her whole collection in life and moved to a new home. I know it was stressful, but now she's getting to enjoy seeing her plants do well there, and that's, you know, that makes it worthwhile, I hope. These succulents, thank you. So my videos are so helpful. I'm really glad. I really am. Everybody wants to be of use and be helpful, and to be able to get to play with my plants and hit all those other notches is awesome. I feel like I should do this in the daytime sometimes so I can like see, but hold on. The grow lights just like, they're so bright. My poor computer can't handle it. Flipping back over to this little comment section under the YouTube community. Are there any more? No. Sorry, I'm in another tab. Okay. So just to recap, what all did we talk about here tonight? Yeah, Janae, you need to ask for grow lights for Christmas. And look at the links on my website because I really like mine and I think it was a really good deal. If you don't need, you can go. Again, I have the 6 bulb. They have an 8 bulb and a 4 bulb. I have the iPower brand. And then Agro Bright is also really good. And price about the same. And I've heard other people say it's really good too. Thank you, Melinda. So tonight we talked about kind of getting ready for the winter in your plants if you're going to have to bring them indoors, how to overwinter. We have people from Canada and New Zealand and Malaysia and Philippines and Pearland and Georgia, all, you know, succulent lovers trying to keep their plants happy, depending on what we're up against. Melbourne, Chicago. And so these questions are going to be, once this video is finished, it'll go and just kind of like park itself on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to look back and then read the questions people ask along with the answers and whatnot that I've given. And if you have any more questions, you can leave them in this video, save them for the next time, or the next time I put a little announcement over on that under the community tab. I might even like leave a poll there so I can get an idea of, you know, the best times to do these things so I can hang out with you guys. This is so awesome. But I think we had a great turnout. Again, holy moly, people from literally all around the world hanging out with me on my porch. I call it Porchlandria. I don't know if anyone gets that joke. I don't really watch the show Portlandia very much. Or I did watch it for 1 season because my friends made all these inside jokes and I felt left out. So I watched the first season and that was it. But I like the name Porchlandria. That's it. Lindsay, it is going to get cold in the USA. Not everywhere, but most of it. We had 2 snows and a freeze last year. So I'm not, man, maybe it froze more than once too. And we had the hurricane right before that, and it was just a crazy time. Maybe we'll talk about that another time too. Hurricanes, man, don't recommend them. Right, North Carolina. Okay, guys, salute, good night, and good day wherever you are. And thank you. I'm terrible at goodbye, so I'm just gonna click end stream. Yes, I'm sure I want to end.